Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Andy, and welcome to this week's Team Kentucky Update. We haven't had a Team Kentucky Update in a couple of weeks, so we are going to start with a lot of great economic development news. Since the beginning of my administration, we've announced nearly 900 new location and expansion projects for over $27.5 billion, a record of new investment under any governor. We've now announced over 48,000 new Kentucky jobs created. Our economy is on fire, having the two best years for economic development ever in 2021 and 2022. And 2023 is shaping up like it will be the third best year of economic development ever. That is really exciting. And the momentum of having our best years ever back to back to back is going to give us the opportunity to just change everything, to be an economic leader, never to be a follower again, but most importantly, to leave more opportunity for the next generation than we ever thought was possible. So today, a couple of announcements that are helping us to get there. I want to kick off today's news by highlighting a project that is creating 60 new full-time jobs in Christian County. And this is the latest big investment in our fast-growing electric vehicle battery sector. This is a joint venture that we had previously announced between Ascend Elements, already a major investor and job creator, along with SK EcoPlant and its subsidiary, TESS. The partners are building a $65.8 million, 100,000 square foot lithium-ion battery recycling facility. Construction is expected to begin next month with completion scheduled for January of 2025. The materials produced at the Hopkinsville facility will help supply Ascend Elements' nearby Apex One facility, an approximately $1 billion project that was announced just last year and is currently under construction and scheduled to begin operations next year. I want to once again thank Ascend Elements for investing in the Commonwealth, as well as welcome its new partner, SK EcoPlant, to our state. But that wasn't the only company that made a great announcement last week. Conway Phillips Holding LLC, which is doing business as Phillips Tank and Structure, announced plans to build a $2.76 million fabrication shop that will create 20 new full-time jobs in the Columbia area. Phillips Tank and Structure is a nationwide contractor engaged in engineering and constructing above-ground storage tanks in the petroleum, agricultural, U.S. defense, and other industries. PTS is acquiring 6 acres owned by the Adair County Economic Development on Development Drive in Columbia. The property previously was approved for $460,000 in state support in the first round of the Kentucky Product Development Initiative, an initiative that's going to so many different counties and is already showing such great results. Remember, one of the very first PDI grants was the area in Mayfield that 6 months after the tornadoes, we announced the PDI program. 1 year after the tornadoes, we announced an employer was moving there to create 80 jobs, and that construction is currently underway. This is yet another proof point that when we do these investments through the PDI program, the employers line up and locate. So I want to congratulate the company on its new fabrication facility in Adair County. Construction is going to begin this coming March and be done by the end of next year. Next up, Playmart, an industry leader in recycled plastic play systems, announced last Thursday it's adding to Kentucky's growing manufacturing industry with a $1.7 million investment in the company's current operation in Pulaski County, creating 10 new jobs. The project will see the company expand its current manufacturing facility. Playmart's investment will create 10 full-time jobs, bringing the company's total Kentucky employment to 47 of our Kentucky families. We're attracting world-class companies from around the globe, but a key part of our success remains homegrown companies like Playmart, which sees we've got the best workforce in America and knows when they expand, we will meet their needs and they will continue to be profitable. I want to thank Playmart's leadership for continuing to believe in Kentucky. I was also honored to help mark several milestones over the last couple of weeks. I was in Louisville last week for a really big one with GE Appliances, a hire company, as they officially opened 2 new dishwasher lines out at Appliance Park. This move marked the completion of a transformative $450 million investment that should show everybody that American manufacturing is back and it's in Kentucky. This was announced originally in October of 2021. It was their second announcement in 2021. The first was bringing a refrigeration line back to America and to Kentucky, something people said would never be done again. But just this one added 1,000 new full-time jobs. Part of the improvements included new top-load washer models and 4-door refrigerator added. The top-line refrigerators in particular, again, that was the previous announcement. Folks said that we'd never manufacture those in the United States again. But this dishwasher investment alone positions GE Appliances and their plant to be the largest plant of its kind in the United States. And I believe this is the most technologically advanced line for a dishwasher system that the world has ever seen. Appliance Park and a nearby call center employs more than 8,000 people full-time. So I want to congratulate the company on this important investment and thank the leaders at Hire and GE Appliances for their commitment to the Commonwealth. Just yesterday, we had 2 great events. First, I was at Alstrom, a manufacturer of fiber-based specialty materials, and we cut the ribbon on the company's new $68 million facility in Madisonville that is creating over 50 new jobs. So we love the jobs announcements and we love the groundbreakings, but the ribbon cutting is the reality. It's when the jobs are created and when our families are truly impacted, and to be able to see their massive machine, to see those 50 new people being hired is really exciting. This new facility, announced in May 2021, will use a glass fiber tissue production line to make flooring materials such as luxury vinyl tiles and vinyl sheet materials. Alstrom's smooth glass fiber tissue will also be marketed for building panels, energy storage, and plastic molding for the transportation industry. Alstrom has operated in Hopkins County since 1974 and currently has 133 employees. I want to thank this company and congratulate them for getting the job done, for hiring our folks, and thanks to Madisonville, Hopkins County, everybody who makes all of these work. I mean, it is truly everyone. From as local as you can get down to some of the stores that smile at the individuals that are walking in, to the leadership, all the way up to the state and our cabinet for economic development. These are just wins for everybody that help our families. So after Alstrom, yesterday, I joined leaders at Toyota Boshoku America, or TBA, to celebrate its new $225 million facility that it is building in Hopkinsville. It's creating 157 quality jobs for Kentucky families. This new facility will include a 365,400 square foot building pad on 49 acres in Christian County. It'll employ innovative cutting-edge technologies such as advanced robotics, planning and automation. It'll reduce waste and maximize efficiency. It is its first smart plant in the United States. Construction is expected to be completed in August of 2024. When the plant is up and running, TBA will then have over 1,100 Kentuckians employed across 5 plants. Truly a great employer in the Commonwealth. I want to thank their company's leadership. I want to thank their CEO for being in the United States and being in Kentucky for this very special moment. He actually lived in Lexington for a while in one of his previous posts. So I want to thank him and that company for continuing to believe in us and choosing to expand in Kentucky over and over and over. Now, you might have noticed that a lot of today's news is about manufacturing and manufacturing wins in the Commonwealth. They are all proof that Kentucky's robust manufacturing sector is continuing to drive our red-hot economy. So I want to close out today's economic update by officially designating October as Manufacturing Month in the Commonwealth. Kentucky has long been a national leader within the U.S. manufacturing base, with the sector representing about 12.5% of our state's workforce, which is significantly above the national average, which is about 8.1%. Right now, there are 5,000 manufacturing-related facilities in Kentucky that employ over 250,000 Kentuckians. The industry also contributes $46 billion to the state's gross domestic product. Manufacturers are central to many key industries in the Commonwealth, including automotive and EVs, aerospace, distribution, logistics, metals, healthcare, food, beverage, and agri-tech, and so much more. It couldn't be more clear. In order to build the better Kentucky we want for all of our families, we need our great manufacturing companies, and we need to be providing them our great workforce now more than ever. So today, we are excited to have representatives from the Kentucky Association of Manufacturers, a group we have worked really well and really closely with these last several years, especially on making some of these critical investments so that we do not slow down, so that we do not run out of sites, and so that we meet the needs of these great employers. And I'd ask them to join me as we are going to sign the official proclamation designating October as Manufacturing Month in the Commonwealth. Come on up. Anybody else you want? You're very welcome. Look right?
Yes.
All right. Let's look up. And now let's make it official. Congratulations.
Thank you, Governor.
And congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much. All right. Today, we have another update on the amazing start of sports betting in the Commonwealth. Retail sports books have been open and taking bets in Kentucky for nearly a month now, and mobile wagering opened just 1 week ago today. Looking at the first month of retail wagering, our partners are reporting a total of over $10 million of in-person sports wagering. And with the launch of mobile wagering just from Thursday through Sunday, Kentuckians wagered over $68 million through retail and mobile channels combined. Now that it's legal, Kentuckians are taking advantage of both in-person and mobile applications to spend their entertainment dollars, betting on things like NFL, college sports, Formula One racing, and more. These numbers shouldn't be a surprise to anyone because Kentuckians have wanted this option for so long. When folks told us getting it passed was impossible, when even some legislators said that they'd never pass it while I was governor, we said, watch this. And together, we got it done because at the end of the day, our job is to serve the people of Kentucky. We'll watch these numbers grow. Best part is all of it stays in Kentucky, helping with our pension system and other needs. This is the first time the Kentuckians have been able to stay home and our dollars haven't gone to paving roads in Indiana or investing in other states around us. We all know how important our transportation system is, and that includes our local streets and roads. These are the roads that get our families to church, to school, and to work. It's important to keep them in good repair so that our families stay safe. Throughout my administration, we've taken every opportunity to assist local governments in making repairs and improvements to the streets and roads that connect our people at the local level, and they help define our communities. I'm proud to say that we have now reached all 120 counties with discretionary funding. Now, I believe that we don't have red or blue counties. We just have counties with our Kentucky families. Every single one of them deserves our best, deserves our help, and deserves us working together across any types of lines. And today we even have one that's working across county lines to make sure that we deliver the very best. So today we're announcing a new round of discretionary funds totaling a little more than $2.1 million. The new funding will be going to 15 local governments across Kentucky, 4 cities, and 11 county governments. The full list of cities and counties are on the screen. Everyone benefits when local routes that connect our communities are kept in good repair. It's often this discretionary funding that makes the difference between a city or a county being able to make timely repairs or having to wait. So today in Bracken County, we have approved $111,150 to resurface 2 roads, Doyle's Lane and Jacobs Road. These are important routes families in these communities rely on, and these awards will make a big difference. Today, we have Bracken County Judge Executive Tina Teagarden with us today. Judge, if you join us with anybody else you want to bring up, and please accept this check. We'll do it on this side. How about this side? That side has the desk. I don't think we've ever done a signing and the checks at the same Team Kentucky update. We'll figure it out. Congratulations. Everybody can grab about 30 grand. Judge, you want to say a word or two about the?
I will.
Thank you.
Just very quickly, I wanted to take an opportunity to thank Governor Beshear, Secretary Jim Gray, Commissioner Bobby Joe Lewis, all of the transportation staff that we have. These folks team up with us in our local governments, and they work really hard to reinvest these tax dollars from the state level back into our small rural counties, which we appreciate so much. Funding such as this will allow for continuous and consistent improvement to our rural roads, our county roads in Bracken County. I'd like to thank the magistrates, Heather Brumley that's with us today, Kevin Geralds. These two roads were in their district. They worked very hard to bring the issues of their districts to light. They have shared with myself in Frankfort. I have my deputy judge with me today, works very hard, working with the state as well. Again, we just want to thank all of you for helping us to keep our roadways safe, safe routes for schools, safe commutes for our citizens on the way to work and back, and safe routes to our businesses. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Judge, Deputy Judge, and magistrates. Thanks for advocating for the people of your district. And we hope that this brings some relief and some excitement, too. Today, we're also presenting an award to the City of Bardstown for resurfacing 3 roadways in the area. Guthrie Drive, Atkinson's Hill Avenue, and Culpeper Street will all be resurfaced and made safer thanks to $117,500 in discretionary funds we're announcing today. Mayor Dick Heaton of Bardstown is not able to join us, but we're happy to have Councilwoman Betty Hart here to accept the check on behalf of the city. Here's 117 grand. You want to mention the project? Thank you.
I would just like to thank Governor Beshear, the Transportation Cabinet, on behalf of Mayor Heaton, Bardstown City Council, and the City of Bardstown. These are all important streets in our community that certainly needed some work. So we appreciate your help.
Very welcome. Thank you. Next, Laurel County has been approved for $300,000 to resurface Buffalo Road and Buffalo Branch Road. These 2 roads connect Laurel and Jackson counties. Both are in serious needs of repair. This funding should go a long way to fixing those problems. And as I said before, we all benefit in this. We have 2 judges here with us today, Laurel County Judge David Westerfield and Jackson County Judge Shane Gabbard. And what they are showing today, and we are seeing more of it across the Commonwealth than I can ever recall, is cooperation between counties and truly regions coming together to better the lives of their people. And we're seeing incredible results because of it. So judges, if you'd please join me. Should have put both counties on this, but it'll benefit us both.
We ain't worried about it.
Still spends the same.
That's right.
Y'all want to mention?
I will.
Sean, he's a pastor. He's long-winded, so I'll just let him stand. We do appreciate what you and your staff has done for us today. We work very well with each other. All my joining counties, we intermingle a lot. And there's one thing that the governor mentioned earlier, is red and blue. Look what's on this flag. That's why we should all work together for one common goal. And I think that's been the goal that Governor Beshear has had in the last 3 years, is to work to help everybody, not one organization or the other, one political party, the other. He has just been awesome in the job that he's done, and we do appreciate what you do for us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Pastor, I'll give that an amen. Thanks again to all of our local leadership. The great part about these projects, along with how we did the water and sewer projects, and even the product development initiative, is these are driven from the local level by local leaders and individuals who know the greatest needs in their communities. And it has been an honor to just provide support to those who know how to move their communities forward and to stand next to you or behind you or somewhere near you as you move your communities forward. Next, we have an announcement about our next step in our mission to keep Kentucky at the center of the electric vehicle revolution. With 21 projects in the electric vehicle sector announced during my administration, we have solidified Kentucky as the EV battery production capital of the United States of America. And we hope that we'll get a little further and just be the EV capital of the United States of America. With so much production going on right now, we have to make sure that Kentuckians can benefit and use these products. Thanks to nearly $70 million in federal funds and private matching funds on top, we're getting to work to make sure EV chargers are readily accessible across the Commonwealth. So today, we're announcing the first step in that mission by approving $10.9 million to 6 developers across Kentucky to build 16 public EV fast charging stations along stretches of 11 interstate highways and parkways. Remember, this is what we had to submit to the federal government with a goal of our initial investments, which will be this $10 million and the rest of the fund on top, of having a charging station. I believe it's at least every 50 miles on our interstates and our parkways to start, and certainly expanding out from there. Here's an example of some of the locations that will be built from this initial funding. On I-65, Love's Travel Stops and Country Stores on L&N Turnpike in Horse Cave. Red E-Charging at the Clark's Pump Shop on Lexington Road in Versailles near the Bluegrass Parkway. Francis Energy Charging at the Ideal Market on Center Street in Madisonville, serving I-69B. BP Pulse at the Travel Center on Burlington Pike in Florence. Jewel serving the Western Kentucky Parkway at the Hatfield Inn in Litchfield. Universal EV chargers at the Wingfield Inn Suites on Parish Avenue in Owensboro. These are just a couple examples of the very first set of awards. Overall, we estimate 37 charging stations will be necessary to build out the first part of this plan. Federal law requires that we begin with our interstates and parkways. That's where we have to. But we have plans and we'll be working very closely with all of our other regions to make sure that everybody benefits from this. There will be a second round of funding out there from the federal government that's more destination related. And so with all the great tourism we have in Kentucky, we believe that's going to be one area that we can apply for and receive additional funds. To give you an idea of just some of the cities included in this first round, we have Buckner, Walton, Florence, Glendale, Nortonville, Hopkinsville, Somerset, Mayfield, Madisonville, Dawson Springs, Columbia, Litchfield, Sparta, Horse Cave, Versailles, and Owensboro, with many more to come. I want to thank the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet, the Energy and Environment Cabinet, the Public Service Commission, and the Federal Highway Administration for their hard work in getting this done. Much more news to come, but an exciting first step. Also have an update on medical cannabis. So today we have some news to share on our efforts to help those suffering from chronic or terminal diseases like cancer, or those suffering from PTSD, like some of our heroic veterans, or Kentuckians living with epilepsy, seizures, ALS, Parkinson's disease, and more, and their access to medical cannabis. As many are aware, given that we had inaction for so long, last November, I signed an executive order that took effect in January of this year. It allows Kentuckians with 21 severe medical conditions who meet specific requirements to be able to possess and use small amounts of legally purchased medical cannabis to treat their conditions. Kentuckians are taking advantage of this executive order and getting some of the relief that they need. But more needed to be done. We needed a law. We needed to bring this into Kentucky statute. And in March of this year, that finally happened, and I'm grateful for all those that voted for it. A bill was passed. I quickly signed it into law, and I want to thank the many advocates who fought hard to get it passed. So today we have some updates to share as we work towards that launch date in 2025. First, we've established the medical cannabis program that's the office that is going to do this work as a part of the Cabinet for Health and Family Services. Sam Flynn has been named as the executive director. Sam is an attorney who served in the Office of Attorney General and as the Labor and Education Cabinet's Chief of Staff and General Counsel. He is already hard at work. The office is preparing to communicate the implementation of this law with a new website that went live today. So moving forward, you can get updates on the implementation through KYMedCannabis.org. medcan.ky.gov. That's kymedcan.ky.gov. Already up, there are guidelines and answers to frequently asked questions for providers, growers, physicians, APRNs, and others with an interest in the program. The office has also launched a page on 2 social media sites, X, formerly known as Twitter, and LinkedIn, so the public can follow along. If we all have to suffer from Twitter, I guess this office does too. Second, the law created a 9-member board of physicians and advisors to provide medical and scientific recommendations for the program. The board includes 7 physicians appointed by the Kentucky Board of Medical Licensure and 2 APRNs appointed by the Kentucky Board of Nursing. Yesterday, this group held their first meeting and took its first steps towards ensuring Kentucky has a safe and effective medical cannabis program. Third update, I'm announcing the creation of the Team Kentucky Medical Cannabis Work Group. This work group's purpose is to study evolving medical cannabis industry policy and the state of medical cannabis policy in our Commonwealth and around the country. This group will include individuals in state and local government and the private sector with relevant experience in law enforcement, agriculture, healthcare, workforce, and economic development. They will be making recommendations to the program and to other state agencies that interact with this new law and with Kentuckians to ensure they have safe access to medical cannabis. In the meantime, Kentuckians with qualifying medical conditions can continue to seek relief with medical cannabis by going out of state and following all those conditions that you need to carefully read in the executive order. All Kentuckians with qualifying medical conditions deserve a chance at a brighter, pain-free future, one where they can get relief without ever turning to opioids. We know what those did to our state, what those greedy companies did in creating this epidemic where we are still losing far too many people. But today, we get to take another step towards, again, honoring those veterans with PTSD where this is their best alternative, those that are suffering the pain of cancer but want to deal with it in a dignified way. Today, we're just trying to help our people, and I'm really proud the General Assembly passed this through, and now we're getting it ready and implemented. All right, next we get to announce some pretty incredible organizations that are getting dollars from our Veterans Program Trust Fund. Back in July, we announced over $175,000 to support our heroic veterans. That was approved by the board, which is part of the Kentucky Department of Veterans Affairs. The funds come from the Veterans License Plate Purchase and renewals. Following last month's board meeting, nearly $200,000 in grant funds were approved, and they include the Kentucky Habitat for Humanity was awarded $90,000 to support the Hammers for Heroes program, which provides home repairs for veterans of the Commonwealth. The Kentucky National Guard Memorial Fund, Inc. was awarded more than $20,000 to preserve and repair the National Guard Memorial. Visual Presentation, Inc. was awarded $10,000 to honor and celebrate the veteran community with a city parade in Louisville. The Veterans Club was awarded more than $28,000 to support the expansion of their equine mentoring program. USA Cares was awarded $50,000 to provide emergency financial assistance to the Kentucky Army and National Guard units that experience natural disasters. To date, we've now awarded more than $2.3 million to great organizations helping our veterans. In Kentucky, we will always honor those who fought on our behalf and in our defense. And by highlighting these organizations, hopefully we provide some good attention and lift them up for the great work that they are doing. And today's funding awards are just part of the work we're doing to support our heroic veterans. And our Department of Veterans Affairs, which is doing great work this month, is celebrating its 25th anniversary. I'm proud to say our team has won their 3rd straight VA Abraham Lincoln Pillars of Excellence Award for their customer service, meaning we are nationally recognized for how we help our veterans. Really proud of those workers for doing that, but mostly proud that we're honoring our veterans the way we should by giving them the very best service possible. All right, little update on public safety. This week, Kentucky becomes a little safer as we welcome 88 new Kentuckians into our law enforcement community. This afternoon, 34 law enforcement officers from agencies across the Commonwealth will graduate from the state's Basic Training Academy, the Department of Criminal Justice Training in Richmond. These individuals dedicated 20 weeks of their life to extensive training. And because they answered the call to serve, our Commonwealth is going to be safer and a better place to call home. I ask the Commonwealth to join me and my family in praying for their safety every day that they serve. And tomorrow, the state is expected to graduate 55 telecommunicators. That includes 30 who work for the Kentucky State Police and 24 serving with local law enforcement agencies. These Kentuckians are the heroes behind the headset that get that first call, that organize some of the response, that talk to people at their scariest of moments. The 30 graduating from the KSP Telecommunication Academy are the largest graduating class in the history of the agency, and it was needed. We had people pulling double shifts and even more as we had lost far too many of our telecommunicators. It is a huge accomplishment, but what it mainly shows is what happens when we take intentional steps to invest in our people. It was in June that I announced we were raising the starting salaries for KSP telecommunicators by more than $8,000 while continuing to keep a $3,100 training stipend for them. The agency has been able to recruit even more. It's not rocket science. When we pay people closer to what they're worth, more people want to apply to a job with public service and purpose, like being one of these heroes behind the headset. It's why the $15,000 raise has driven more applications than we've seen in a long time for this next KSP class. And it's exactly why we need our public educator raises, because when we have classrooms that don't have that teacher there day in and day out, it's our kids that suffer. That raise, we've proven all across state government, will bring more people into the teaching profession, and it's time to make it happen. But back to telecommunicators, they are the eyes and the ears of our first responders. They are the lifeline to anyone who calls needing safety, medical care, rescue, or guidance. We thank you, we pray for you, and we're glad that you're getting a little more help this week. All right, I'm going to give a high ground update in Eastern Kentucky. So 2 weeks ago, we provided an update on high ground communities we're building in Eastern Kentucky to help those who lost everything in the floods. These homes are being built out of the floodplain, and the remaining relief funds that we have are going to go to build these high ground communities. So today we have two new updates. First, the Federal Department of Housing and Urban Development has approved the necessary environmental review for the Skyview high ground community just outside of Hazard in Perry County. We have already expanded a bridge that allows us to get all the heavy equipment we need. And we're going to be working on an access road immediately to get equipment to the site. We're also going to begin installing water, wastewater, and the electric infrastructure. We already had secured funding for much of this. And now it means we get to work. Remember, we were awarded $300 million of federal funds to help in this effort, but we couldn't even spend state dollars on a site like this until the environmental review was done, or we would forfeit those federal dollars. So while it took us a bit longer, it means we have a lot more to put into it, and we're going to move a lot faster. Eventually, in the first phase, we're going to build 125 homes for flood survivors on this site alone. Next, we have some exciting news related to the first home at the cottages at Thompson Branch, located near the community of Whitesburg. As I think we have a photo, I hope we do, because Kentucky Power has begun stringing power lines to bring electricity to this site. We believe we may have a home by the end of October. Yes, this one will be smaller, about 10 homes, but it will be a first of its kind. Never before has FEMA, a state, and a county government worked together to build what starts as direct temporary housing, but we come in and turn it into permanent housing for those individuals. This is a really neat site. It's going to be a special little community, and it shows that if we continue to work and to work and to work, we can lift our people up even when they've been through the worst of the worst. And finally, our team Kentucky All-Stars are our national blue ribbon schools. This week, I'm excited to celebrate 7 Kentucky schools recognized as 2023 National Blue Ribbon Schools. Each year, the U.S. Department of Education honors schools from across the country for high performance and closing achievement goals. The following 7 schools were among the 353 schools across the U.S. recognized this year. First one was my elementary school, Cassidy Elementary School in Lexington. Drakes Creek Middle School in Bowling Green, Farmington Elementary School in Mayfield, Potter Gray Elementary School in Bowling Green, Russell High School in Russell, St. Xavier High School in Louisville, Villa Madonna Academy Elementary School in Villa Hills. Congratulations to this school and congratulations on being our Team Kentucky All-Stars. All right, we got two journalists here with us today and one on the line. We'll start where we always start, with Tom Latek.
Thank you, Governor. Good afternoon to you. On the medical marijuana issue, will there be an ongoing effort to add conditions that are eligible for using this, and how will they be shown?
So the law did something that I haven't seen before. It tried to give authority to a specific group at the University of Kentucky to make those determinations, and somehow that would then become law. Thus far, that group has expressed concern with them being, I'd say, with them holding that role. So this is something we're going to have to discuss both with them and with the General Assembly as we come back into session. And there are some conditions that weren't in the original legislation that I think we should all be able to agree, like Crohn's disease is one that's included in just about every other program throughout the United States. So I think this is something we're going to have to revisit in legislation here in this next session. Carolina.
Governor, on sports betting, the numbers that we're seeing come in, are they higher than they were initially to be expected? And what are these numbers telling you in terms of success for the program?
What these numbers are telling me is Kentuckians are excited and they are enjoying the new freedom to bet on sports. They are much higher than originally projected. You know, the original projection, I believe, was done by LRC back several years ago, where I don't think there was a majority that wanted to pass it. But this is just showing how much Kentuckians wanted this and how right it was to pass it. But people are really enjoying it. And I still have a chance to win the very first sports bet we ever made, because UK and U of L are 5-0 and Duke has started to tank. So on the line, we have Joe Sonka.
Thanks, Governor. I guess I have a manufacturing month question for you. Ford CEO Jim Farley said last week that the UAW is holding contract negotiations hostage over issues related to the new EV battery plants that are set to come soon, such as the two in Glendale, which the UAW has denied and said is not true. So my question for you is, do you share Farley's same concern on that EV battery issue affecting negotiations? And what do you think Kentucky needs to come out of the negotiations to maintain the future of Ford production in Kentucky, both in Louisville and in Glendale?
Well, I'm not inside those negotiations, so I can't weigh in on whether or not that's holding things up or who is doing what. I think you got to be in that room to truly know that. But what we need out of this, both for Ford's regular production, for our families, our hardworking families out there, is a win-win with Ford and the UAW. I mean, this is a massive employer for Kentucky, and this is a great organization that represents our families and is trying to make sure they get treated fairly and they can provide more opportunity for their kids and that employees get their proper share of the profits. But neither of these two groups can live without each other. And so my hope is that they can come together to get that win-win, that we get a package where our Ford workers are making a better living than they ever had with good benefits that mean that we improve the lives of our families and their children. At the same time, we have to have a strong Ford. The investments that it's making in Kentucky are game-changing and state-changing. And I hope at the end of the day, we can get that type of win-win. I think we saw that with UPS and the Teamsters, and I hope that we can see that here. And at the end of the day, I hope that after negotiations, they can come back together to have that working relationship day in and day out. I work with both of these organizations. They are both led by good people who care about their people. And my hope is that good people can come together at that table and get a win-win, because if they do, Kentucky is also a big winner. All right. Thank you all very much.